All right, so what I want to do in this video is talk a little bit about let me bring the mic a little closer, is talk a little bit about the essential roles of the government. And in the scope of this class, we're just going to look at really just 4 different kinds of roles, especially the specific kind of laws: criminal law, contract law, property law, and tort law. So criminal law is pretty straightforward, simple. It's kind of, I'd look at the other 3 first. This is probably the last one I would look at. But we're looking at this kind of crime. Usually has to do with some sort of robbing someone. Basically anything that just seems is just unlawful. Okay. This is why it's more like, if it's not the other 3, then it's probably criminal law. That's what we look at. Contract law is violation of a previous agreement. So if we both agree on something, the contract makes sure that whatever you promised actually ends up happening. So that way you don't promise something and then you just violate that. And then, so like, for example, if you promised to give me a tortilla and I promise to give you my left shoe, if I give you my left shoe, it makes sure you give me my tortilla. Property law is basically whatever you own, you keep. And this includes, obviously property, but like things that are on your property. So like if I own a farm and I grow corn, growing the corn makes sure, doing things on that property will make sure like that I keep the corn, if that makes sense. So like if I grow the corn, because it's on my property, that corn is mine. People can't just come in and, take the corn from me, if that makes sense. Okay. So next we have tort law, and this is really just any kind of injury or financial loss. And that's kind of in the physical sense and in the economic sense as well, but it's more on the physical side. So if there's physical injury, if you see the word injury, you're looking at tort law. Okay, so let's just look at some practice problems for this. So for this first one, it says markets require well-enforced property law because without it, people would not make long-term investments in their property for fear of never reaping the benefits. Is that true? Yes, that makes sense, because like I said, if I went to buy a farm, would it be helpful to me if every time I grow corn, someone else comes and takes my corn? No. This is why property law is important, is because it ensures whatever you grow, whatever you mine, etc. on that property, you keep. So that way it encourages investment into the property. Products could harm customers, which would discourage people from buying. This has to do with injury. So first of all, I'm just going to put a check here. That makes sense. Injury, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That would be more tort law, because I see this word harm. People could not be certain that property would be fairly distributed. Okay. Redistribution laws, it's not really in the case of, it's not property law. Even though it says property, it doesn't guarantee that what you own, you keep. This is more in terms of fairness. It's really none of them. It's more redistribution laws, so I wouldn't worry about that. People could steal from one another, creating involuntary trade. Stealing, this is criminal law. So this will not work. Okay. People would only trade with the few people they know well enough to trust. So this is contract law, because contract law allows people, like strangers, to trade with one another, because it make sure I give you what I'm supposed to and I get what I'm supposed to, even if we don't know each other. If we do know each other, then obviously we don't really need a contract, because I trust you, you trust me, we have that rapport already. So without contract law, people would only trade people with a few people they know. So this is contract law. Okay. And hopefully you can see that. So as such, A would be the answer. Okay, now let's look at this next question about Jenny. Okay, Jenny can build up a geothermal power plant on her land that will be profitable over 20 years. However, she is hesitant because during that time the government might revoke mineral rights on her land and shut down her plant before it is profitable. Efficiency in this market can be improved by strengthening criminal law. Are they robbing her? I mean, you could make the argument, but that's not, I wouldn't say it's the best answer. Because it's the question here. So I want to say, first of all, I don't think it's criminal law. Contract law, there was no previous agreement between the government and her. So I wouldn't say it's a contract law. Property law, yes, because she has rights to the minerals and they are trying to take those away from her. So it's ensuring what she owns is hers. So that does make sense. Tort law, there's no injury involved. So this would be property law. Okay, hopefully that makes some sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Adam out.